Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. I am covering the tragedy out of Moscow, Idaho. For this segment, we're going to talk about the Sheath defense. Bryan Kohberger arrested, charged with 4 counts of murder. A sheath was left at the crime scene. And a lot of people think Bryan Kohberger is guilty and will be found guilty because the DNA was found on the sheath right by one of the victim's beds. A sheath left at the crime scene. And I want to play a clip right now, right? Because a professor of criminology, Mr. Wilson, who is from overseas, went on a TV station earlier today, ITV, and discussed about the sheath because the hosts of the show asked him, Bryan being criminology and in the criminal justice field, how could he be so clumsy to have left a sheath? And Mr. Wilson here, David Wilson, gave a response to that. And I'm going to share that clip with you, and then we're going to discuss.
The knife, the leather knife sheath that was left on the bed with the DNA on it, and there it is there illustrated. That seems to be a remarkably clumsy move.
Or a remarkably clever move, because one of the things that's really struck me about the person that's been arrested and accused of this is he is intelligent and high functioning. Now, even having put to one side that we know that many killers, the first time they kill, they've never experienced that before. They can be book smart, but not necessarily criminologically smart. We've heard Kohberger make public statements that Jennifer alluded to, saying he's looking forward to being exonerated. So would a highly skilled, intelligent student who was teaching criminology, a PhD student, have made such a basic error?
How can leaving your DNA be intelligent? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, so the first thing the defense will say, it's, well, how did the DNA get... You and I could have your DNA. We gave each other a cuddle before the interview started. Yeah. Your DNA's on me. I could go wherever I wanted to go in the next hour, and your DNA would be where I would go to. So the defense is clearly going to present issues that will suggest that Kohberger is innocent, and even the triangulation of the phone data that Jennifer drew attention to, which is absolutely right. Well, he's the Moscow isn't so far away from Washington State University, so it would be natural that there would be some of those towers might ping. Yeah. There will be a defense, which is why we have to say he's innocent until proven guilty.
So he actually said it could be an ingenious move by Bryan. But when pressed about that, Mr. Wilson couldn't really answer that question, and then went on and deflected and talked about, cell phone pings and whatnot. Do you think the sheath, Bryan put that there if he did the crime, and I think he did, but if he did the crime, do you think he put the sheath there on purpose, as a ruse? I don't know. I think it was just sloppy work, if you ask me, but a British professor in criminology thinks it could have been a strategic move by Bryan. You think it was a strategic move? Do you think he put it there on purpose as a way so he could eventually get off down the line? I don't know about that. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. Anything and everything Bryan Kohberger and the Moscow, Idaho 4 case I am sharing. I'm sharing other people's theories, thoughts, speculations. There is people out there that believe Bryan Kohberger is innocent. I don't think so. I think the affidavit of probable cause is very damaging against Kohberger. But again, you go in front of a jury, and I've seen jurors do weird, strange, bizarre things in criminal cases. Some people get off. So we'll see what happens here. Or will Bryan, take a plea deal to avoid the DP? The prosecution has a lot of leverage here when it comes to the DP. You know what the DP stands for? Leverage on Bryan. A bargaining chip. Everyone be safe. Justice for the victims and their families.